President Bola Tinubu has signed the new national minimum wage bill into law. The ceremony took place before the commencement of the Federal Executive Council meeting at the council chambers of the presidential villa in Abuja. The 70,000 naira minimum wage bill was passed expeditiously by the National Assembly last week. The leadership of the National Assembly, including the President of the Senate and the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, joined the FEC for the ceremony. Before signing the bill into law, President Tinubu invited several cabinet members to make comments. After the ceremony, President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, described it as a great day for democracy and the Nigerian worker.
The President had indicated every assignment for, everything aside to welcome you and perform the signing ceremony, which we have just witnessed. By the signing of this bill into law, the welfare of Nigerian workers have been more than enhanced by, I think, more than 100 or 200%. We are grateful for this, and we also urge you that the budget, which will also fund it, please help us pass it as expeditiously as we are welcome to this one.
Nigerian workers are getting a huge boost compared to what was there before. And I can assure that in terms of implementation, every effort will be made to ensure that there is speedy and full implementation of this new all-important Minimum Wage Act, definitely at the federal level, but also we will encourage that this is a national minimum wage to be implemented across the society, the federal, the state, the local governments, and the private sector.
We are grateful that you have put so much energy and you have shown good faith and good faith to Nigerians, and we are following suit. The National Assembly have shown that they are ready to walk the talk. So congratulations to Nigerian workers, and we are glad that not just in 5 years, in about 3 years' time, we'll be reviewing the minimum wage.
I'm excited about the Nigerian worker, and the national minimum wage amendment is for the whole nation, for the federal government, for the states, for the local governments, for the private sector, and even for individual employers. So I think this is a great day for the workers in the country. We are not only doubling the minimum wage, we have added something on top. Initially it was 30,000, now it is 70,000. Like I said, this is minimum. This is not maximum. Any employer that has the capacity can pay as much as you want, but no Nigerian worker will offer services and be paid anything less than 70,000 from today. That is the implication of this act.
Okay, Rufai, expeditiously is the word that was used in terms of the passage and now the signing into law by the president. Your take on this story?
Kudos to President Tinubu on this. Yes, we finally settled the minimum wage wahala, but there are other problems. Number one is, how practical is it going to be? Are people going to follow it? The state governors already have said there's no way in the world it's going to be possible for them to follow this. Let's not deceive ourselves. There's no way in the world that they're going to be able to follow this because of the economic challenges. Even organized private sector is saying they're going to stretch themselves to be able to follow this. So how far-reaching enough can this be? How can we make it pervasively? Secondly, the case of now the productivity of the workers, because that's one part of the bargain we don't always talk about. The fact that, yes, government has met one end, you might not say it's you might say it's not holistic, but how about the productivity of the workers? What are they also bringing to the table? The Nigerian workforce can be very unproductive when you look at their work strength sometimes. Yes, I know they have challenges of welfare, the environment at which they work, they can see all of that. But even when they have the time at work, what do? So we must also have this for them to be able to meet halfway. So that's it. So finally, and it's going to be up for review in the next 3 years. Let's also see. Hopefully, probably the time when we will have to review, the state of the economy will be a lot better. But apart from signing minimum wage into law, the most important thing is the cost of living. Once you fix cost of living, then minimum wage can make a lot of sense. We have seen many data that talks about the price of rice many years ago and what minimum wage was compared to the price of rice now and minimum wage. When you use the benchmark of a bag. Yes, I know rice is not the only staple. But when you look at the price of other staples like yam and the likes, it's also equally gone up. So the question is, how can we bring down the cost of living so that the money that will be taken home would actually make sense? I think that's the most important conversation.
Okay, very quickly, two important things happened yesterday, but let's deal with this one first. The two important things, in my view, will seem to be the president signing the new Minimum Wage Bill Act. And the second thing is the Federal Executive Council and the president agreeing that Dangote refinery and other refineries should be supplied crude in Naira to be paid for. But let me deal with the substantive issue that has been brought to the table. I think it's a very positive development. The Senate, the House of Reps, the Nigeria Labour Congress, they are happy that the president has now signed the bill into law that the minimum wage in Nigeria will be 70,000 naira. Senator Akpabio was very, enthusiastic in saying that it is minimum wage, not maximum. And that, what this administration has done is not only to increase the minimum wage, but also to say that even domestic workers will be, favored. And they too will have to collect 70,000 naira minimum wage. What I do not know is what the National Assembly has done with Section 4 of the National Minimum Wage Act. And that's why, you will have to see the legislation to be able to comment on it competently. Are they retaining Section 4, which says, for example, briefly, that if you have just about 25 workers or less or fewer, then you are not supposed to pay national minimum wage. And then other conditions under that Section 4, which says without prejudice to Section 3 of the national minimum wage. Minister Onyejocha Nkeruka Njeocha told us that they are going to pay from May, I think, they will pay the arrears. So if they are going to pay arrears, we would like to see it. Now, the big elephant in the room is that will the states respect the law? When the new national minimum wage was at 30,000, the state did not respect it. Will the private sector respect the new law? There are many private sector employers who do not pay minimum wage of 70,000. So a law, the true test of a law is in its implementation. Who is going to enforce it? The other subject that I would like to talk about is about the concession to Dangote refinery and other local refineries. Hopefully, someone else will bring it up in the course of this program. Either Adifemi or maybe Ujinika will pay.
All right, well, congratulations to Nigerian workers, at least for those who are working in organizations or in sectors and places where their employers can afford to pay 70,000 naira. The word I'd said and emphasized was expeditiously, and you would understand that when you test the climate or the temperature of the nation currently, the president is doing all within his powers to ensure that people see his move, his actions, not just by body language or for optics alone, but to see that he's putting his money where his mouth is by trying to demonstrate to the people that he's serious about alleviating the poverty and sufferings of the people by taking this matter very seriously. And I think that's one up for him. I say this because part of the conversation we've had, especially ahead of the planned protest, peaceful protest on August 1st, is a show and a demonstration of a commitment to solving the issues for Nigerian workers, Nigerian people, in terms of being able to earn more, because this was part of his promise when he had, directed that oil subsidy would be gone, fuel subsidy would be gone. So this is a good move, and this is hopefully going to make things begin to get softer, hopefully. But the taste of the pudding, as is often said, is in the eating. It's not just about the signing to law of this act, but also, very importantly, to ensure that it is that people abide by it, that it is, you know, the states that have been said not to even be able to pay 30,000 naira would mention a number of states that they haven't up until now been able to pay that amount of money would pay. So it's not just for you to have on paper that you're earning 70,000 naira. It's for the people to have 70,000 naira in their account at the end of the month and not be owed a backlog as a result of inability of states to pay. Of course, there are bigger conversations around this in terms of why can't a state pay its workers wages? What is wrong with how solvent a state is in Nigeria? But so many things to talk about, and hopefully in the course of today's show we'll go deeper into these conversations.